بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So the main reason of giving this, so if you try to see here, the main reason of giving this is different network and different portions so that we can get different network sizes. Now why they divided classes? Mainly they divided them into classes so that we can have a different range of networks. Like if my requirement is, let's say, 200 hosts, so I can go with any C class example, because C class supports 256 addresses. Based on one host portion, we have one host portion 8, so 2 to the power of 8 is 256. So if my requirement is, let's say, 1000 hosts, where you want to connect 1000 devices, then basically, and all those 1000 should be in the same network, I go with any B class or A class also I can use. So B class supports 2 power 16 addresses because we have 16 host bits. So you can see there are 2 network and 2 hosts. So the size of the network is dependent upon the number of host bits. So the more number of host bits we have, the bigger the size of the network. Okay, so to have a different ranges or different sizes, they are divided into classes A, B, C, and then they have made that, okay, in C class we use 1 as a host, in B class 2 portion as a host, and in A class we use 3 portions as a host, so that we can get different range or different sizes for different requirements. Okay, the next thing we'll see, like in the previous section we have seen, is C class supports. C class by default have 1 host portion, so the size of the network is 2 to the power of 8, 256. So out of 256 addresses, again, we cannot use 2 addresses. So which means, let's say if my requirement is 200 devices I want to connect, and in the future if I want to extend or add new devices, I can add up to 254 only. Even though my network, a C class network, supports 256 addresses, but in that the first and the last address cannot be used, because the first address is reserved for network ID and the last address is reserved for broadcast ID. We'll talk about this. So basically 2 addresses cannot be used or cannot be assigned to any device in the network. So similar way in the B class also we get 65,536 addresses. We cannot use 2 addresses, -2 always, because the valid host means -2 always we have to do. So similar way in A class we get 16777216 addresses. In that the first and the last address we cannot use for network ID and the broadcast ID. Means the valid host will be, this is the valid host. After subtracting 2, these are the valid host addresses we get in each network.